Hey everyone, I have a new podcast on Spotify called All About Movies with Anupama Chopra. Check it out now. You got to a point, Tanmay, where you were hanging out with Shah Rukh Khan. I mean, you did a podcast with him which has millions of views.
I think it's one of his best interviews.
It is.
It's so good.
What did that feel like? And did it take away any of the glitter for you?
Of course, slowly, but not around Shah Rukh. With Shah Rukh, it still feels like, oh my God, I can touch him. Like, that's crazy. Like, I enter a room and Shah Rukh comes and gives you a hug. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. With Shah Rukh, that definitely still happens. I remember the first time we hung out, like, I would call that hanging out. Like, before Filmfare happened, me and Rohan, we were writing a show for ICICI Awards. I think that was the first time we wrote with him. We were writing a show for ICICI Awards. Shah Rukh was hosting. So we written the script. And Shah Rukh was going to come at 5. The show was at like 6. Shah Rukh was delayed by 15 minutes. He came and we were like, there's just no way. Like, because we've written an elaborate thing, right? Like, there are links. There are awards, all this we've written. There's just no way he's going to do this in 20 minutes. Then we go to his room and we quickly run into the script. He's like, cool. It took 10 minutes. And then he got out and we were backstage now. I was like, everything happened in a span of 30 minutes. And he comes up to us and he was like, okay, so first this happens and this happens and this happens, this happens. And then this, and then I do this. And both me and I were like, what? How do you know everything? Then Shah Rukh looks at his phone and is like, oh, this guy scored a goal. And Ron was like, fuck, I haven't even kept up with the football match. Like, how are you keeping up with everything? It was insane. And that show happened and then we went back to his room. And then we got like 20 minutes around him to just sit and just talk because they were packing stuff and all that. And we just spoke about general stuff for about 20 minutes only. Then we had the Filmfare opportunity, which was when we got to go to Mannat and sit in the famed, amazing library that he has, where he was very generous enough that he spoke about books for an hour with us, saying, I read this, have you read this? Spoke about pop culture. He showed us the theater in his house where Rohan said, I'll come with my PlayStation and play video games here. And Shah Rukh's like, I can afford a PlayStation, can you relax? It was pretty cool. He has all these movie posters signed by the directors, which are like now insane memorabilia. He's the only one who makes you feel that. The other people, you still sometimes feel it. I think something happens, like if you're like Ranbir, like whenever I've met Ranbir, you meet him and you're like, you are obviously a movie star. Like there's just a glow on his face. Like you feel like you're meeting royalty. I get it, Alia. I get it. Right? I get the appeal. Right? Like
Totally.
Like something on their skin. Like it just does. They don't feel like Ranbir doesn't feel like he's just one of us. He's just gorgeous. Like everything, and he has this lazy way of talking, and that feels like this is how we all should talk. Like what is this? Ranbir
my line to Ranbir was, "You had me at hello."
Yeah. He's just effortlessly charming. Some people are like that. Like Ranbir also, because he's a Kapoor and there's like this, there's history and legacy here. He was born to act, which he is. He truly is.
Yeah.
Some folks make you feel that. I'm trying to remember.
Were you disappointed?
I never took offense to how people would behave when they're just doing their thing. For example, right? Because I've had this learning, right? Because I began as someone who would make jokes about famous people, right? And then until eventually I had my own following, and then someone else would now have the opportunity to make fun of me, right? So in the early days, if someone's going through like a major stressful event in their life, that used to be an opportunity for my engagement on my social. And now I think twice, saying, I just don't want to be the guy who punches right now. Like now I feel that. That's one. Second, I have been hella busy and I have been I've been very much a part of the race, trying to do stuff. Earlier, I would get really upset with reply नहीं किया यार, हाँ मिला नहीं, मीटिंग कैंसिल कर दिया यार, कैसा है यार, Now I'm like, I get it. Been there, done that. I know what it's like. We're just caught up. No big deal.